Ciao amici di saldaPress, siamo qua con Daniel Warren Johnson che ringrazio per la disponibilità, la gentilezza, l'amicizia e la bravura, l'immensa bravura, e ringrazio appunto per essere con noi in questa brevissima intervista. Io ringrazio anche Lorenzo De Felici che ci sta aiutando con la traduzione e ci fa da interprete live, quindi grazie Lorenzo. E partirei subito con la primissima domanda. In Italia negli ultimi anni abbiamo assistito a una riscoperta del fumetto americano e del fumetto giapponese insieme. Abbiamo creato con saldaPress una collana Ramen Burger che unisce comics e manga e ovviamente c'è stata una scoperta e una riscoperta di Daniel Warren Johnson. Ovviamente tutti hanno amato alla follia Murder Falcon. La mia domanda è se anche in America, se anche il pubblico americano ama così tanto Murder Falcon e soprattutto heavy metal, amore, amicizia, vita, famiglia, musica, futuro, sogni, vita, morte. Murder Falcon ha tantissimi temi, ma qual è il vero ingrediente segreto per la sua spettacolarità, per la sua bellezza? Cos'è che fa amare Murder Falcon?
Well, in the States, publishing moves quite slowly, and I agree with you. Like the manga and the popularity of it, and anime. I mean, it is huge in the States. Huge, like young people especially love it. And you know, in our bookstores, there's like rows and rows and rows and rows and rows of manga, and then the American comic scene is like one shelf.
Yeah.
So I think marketing and kind of treating our books in the same way would be a really good idea, but it hasn't quite happened in the States yet, if I'm totally honest. Maybe in like 3 years it'll catch on, but not yet. And then as far as Murder Falcon, you know, there are a lot of themes, and you know, as far as the number one theme that makes the whole thing work, when I was writing it and when I was conceptualizing it, I had one sentence that Murder Falcon was about, and that I kept referring back to see if I was on the right track or not. And that was, you know, this is a book about the healing power of music, and if it fit within that construct, then I knew that's what it had to go into the book. If it didn't, I cut it, and that's what the book is about. So all those themes are probably sub-themes for what I'm trying to get across, which is just how powerful music can be. And it's kind of a visual representation of that, of the power of music.
Oh, yeah, thank you. La seconda domanda che ti voglio fare riguarda invece più nello specifico Dua Powerbomb e secondariamente un po' la tua intera produzione. Perché Dua Powerbomb c'è scritto nell'introduzione, quindi abbiamo letto tutti l'introduzione appunto al libro in cui tu racconti come hai scoperto il wrestling grazie appunto anche a tua figlia e di come pian piano ti sei appassionato e di come questa tua passione l'hai messa nel fumetto. Dunque Dua Powerbomb è un fumetto che attinge a un'esperienza autobiografica. Quanto è importante nei tuoi fumetti l'elemento autobiografico, l'elemento familiare e autobiografico?
As you can tell from like Murder Falcon and Do a Powerbomb, most of my books is I write. I'd like people to hope that they can see that I write from the heart, you know, and I do try and write what I know. You know, I'll only know so much about wrestling and being a wrestler, of course, because I am not built for being a wrestler. But I do have a deep, deep passion for it, and I believe that storytelling and art and comics work best when the person making it is enjoying the process.
Okay.
So if I can do something that I'm passionate about, like wrestling, I feel like it shows and it makes the work better. I need to be able to enjoy and be excited about the process of the project in order for me to feel like it's going to be quality. So I do kind of write what I know, but mostly I'm excited about what I'm making. And I think that's kind of what helps give it the spark. Yeah.
L'ultima domanda, the final questions. Ok. appunto tu sei un autore conosciuto e riconosciuto come autore di comics influenzati dai manga. E dunque sei un fervente lettore di manga, a manga reader, io, ok? E ecco, quali sono i tuoi manga preferiti? E nello specifico se c'è un manga, due manga che hanno influenzato Dua Powerbomb, quindi un manga sul pugilato, un manga sul wrestling che ha influenzato appunto la tua visione del wrestling in Dua Powerbomb.
So, story-wise, manga really didn't play a part at all in my inspiration. That being said, art-wise, like, huge. In the States, wrestling comics, they're kind of an afterthought to the actual wrestling products.
Okay.
So like WWE has like a comic that, just to make a comic, it's not really about the craft of comics meeting the craft of pro wrestling, in my opinion. But manga, oh my, they take it really seriously. Pro wrestling and of course, comics. And there's not as many wrestling comics now, currently, but in the 90s, there was quite a few. And there's the specific one that I'm thinking about now is it was called Burning Women's Wrestling, and it was a manga retelling of the storylines that were happening in actual pro wrestling in Japan, of ladies pro wrestling, All Japan Women's Pro Wrestling was happening in Japan. Sorry, this is a lot, so there was a 3-volume series, Burning Women's Wrestling, that it broke down all the moves and it was very beautifully illustrated. And there are other mangas that I have done a deep dive on the internet to try and find that I don't know what the titles, but I know they're about wrestling and they're great. So I would go like a deep internet dive and order these little mangas from the 90s that are like, old, they smell funny, but they're great. They're really great. They're a great visual reference for breaking down moves and showing the art of pro wrestling in a way that was better than what I had seen in American wrestling comics. Yeah. And as far as my favorite manga of all time, like not related to wrestling, it's probably a tie between Nausicaa Valley of the Wind and Berserk.
Oh yeah,
I love both of those very much. So yeah,
amazing manga,
yeah.
Ok, grazie Daniel di essere stati con noi. Nei prossimi giorni pubblicheremo questa intervista, quindi spero che ai lettori di saldaPress piacerà e lettori che già ti amano, quindi sono sicuro che saranno molto molto contenti. Quindi io ringrazio nuovamente Comicon Napoli, ringrazio nuovamente Daniel Warren Johnson e ringrazio Lorenzo De Felici per la traduzione, Lorenzo che invito a venire con noi per un saluto ai lettori. Ciao a tutti, grazie.
Grazie.